The third lap was 225.793. He's averaging 225.798. As he sets the car into turn number 3 and onto the short chute at the north end of the racetrack. We'll be looking for the checkered flag this time by. Remember, every car gets 3 chances here between now and 4 o'clock. Here's the checkered. His first run is complete. The tracker says P4. The fourth lap, 225.785, 225.795 is the 4-lap average, and he is indeed P4 at the moment. Alex Tagliani occupies P1 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on pole day 2010. Pole day at Indianapolis has Graham Rahal on the racetrack. He will become our 8th qualifier of the day. Graham Rahal driving, in my estimation, one of the prettiest cars on the track this year. Quick Trim is the sponsorship on that car, and I get to mention that 50 years ago on this day, May 22nd, it was a Sunday, and the 4th and final day of qualifying, a 2-tone purple car, a little lavender in there, driven by Jim Hurtubise, almost went 150 miles an hour around this place. A level that many people thought would never be achieved. Are you kidding me? Here's the first lap for Graham. It's 225.708, 225.744 on lap number 2.
Now you talk about those speeds. If you didn't pull these cars back with regulations, you could do 250.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a case of now technology. Woo!
Close up to that wall.
That's why you don't want to run 250.
That's right.
They come too fast.
Only the 4th son to drive for his father in Indianapolis. Larry drove for A.J. Foyt, Marco for Michael, of course. Ed Carpenter, of course, driving for his stepdad, Tony George. Here is the 3rd lap about to be completed for Graham Rahal. White flag is waving. Lap number 3 comes in at 225.632. A little bit slower there on lap number 3.
But keep in mind, he just went after another wiggle.
Big wiggle there.
But he came just after Scott Dixon, who is a mainstay of a guy who knows how to get around Indy with one of the top teams. And Graham Rahal is just a tick behind him, looking to get himself in the pole shootout.
With relatively a brand new, ooh, he's up high through there, using all the track. But, you know, 2 days ago, he knew he had his stock car. Yesterday, with the speeds they found, he thought that they're going to be in the top 9. He said, if we're not in the top 9, I'm going to be disappointed. And he's posting the times.
25.383 on lap 4. The average is 225.617. He is P5. Lindy is with Elio Castroneves, currently P2.
Tagliani still P1 after your run, but that doesn't mean you had a bad one. You were still pretty close, but the question is, are you going to go back out or do you wait for the shootout?
Yeah, it's a very interesting format. So how bad is it, that first pit? Because that's what is more about it we're looking for. Or should we make the adjustment for the car to the top 9 and then we're going to go? Because now we know what they got. They know obviously what we got. So it's one of those things. And I don't know. I'm confused. Obviously, whatever they tell me to go, I'll go. And but certainly we're right there, and it's gonna be a great battle. Maybe this format is a great thing.
We'll just have to wait and see, Robbie.
Scott Dixon in the number 9 Target Chip Ganassi car in P9 right now. But how is the car feeling for you? Or P4, excuse me.
P4. You had me worried there for a minute, but yeah, the car's been, not too bad. I think the Target team's done a great job. It seemed to be a pretty conservative first run there. You know, the car had plenty of grip, and we had a little too much understeer in it. So I definitely think we've got some areas to improve and hopefully get a bunch more speed out of it. But it's going to be a tough day for us.
Hearing that, should you have maybe pushed it a little more, knowing that?
We would have liked to. You know, the balance that we had from this morning was pretty good, and I was pretty happy with that. And we put a little bit more front wing in, but obviously with the track getting a lot hotter, I think we just picked up a lot more understeer. But it felt consistent, felt pretty good. We'll just have to try and work on it some.
Thanks a lot, Scotty. Jackaroo sounds like he's a little too conservative this time.
Graham Rahal reported to his crew that, as you can see in his gestures, car was very loose.
Yeah, and that's, that body language shifting those shoulders, that means the rear of that car was moving around.
Yeah.
And that's the hands. He was chasing that car up the racetrack as it came off of turn 1. But there's a time at Indy to just stand on the gas and man up. He did it and delivered some fast times.
They called it back and said, way to cowboy up.
Yeah.
Okay. I said man up, they said cowboy up. Same thing.
Another pretty car on the racetrack, the lime green machine of Townsend Bell, looking for his 4th start in a 500. His first lap is 224.554. We talked about how Alex Tagliani moved from the last row to 11th last year in the 500. Only Alex gained more positions in last year's race. Townsend Bell from San Francisco.
This is co-owned, of course, by Chip Ganassi, so he would have the information from Scott Dixon. When Scott said they were too conservative, they could quickly, if they had time, make a change on this to take advantage of the conditions.
Townsend's best speed has been 225.4, so he's about a mile an hour under that in his qualifying run. Second lap is 224.317.
But too, you got, once he starts laying down these laps, and okay, we see the first one, the second one being at 224.3, you got to say, okay, what's our game plan today? Where do we want to stand? Do we want to make that effort to be in the top 9, or just say, okay, we're just solidly going to be in this top 24? We don't know what that's going to take yet, but we're going to learn with every run that goes in terms of what do we have to do to make that top 24 barrier today. And I think Townsend's been pretty solid all month. I think this run will keep you there, but it's a lot cooler than we anticipated right now.
And humidity is dropping.
Last lap, the third lap rather, 224.306. Tracker says he is in 7th position. His best finish was last year here at the 500. He finished in 4th position. He started 12th in 2008.
He's got some great support talking to him in his helmet, and veteran engineer Andy Brown, Tim Neff, who's been with Sam Schmidt for a while. I mean, these guys have been around, so there's some depth behind what you're seeing in that Herbalife car with Townsend.
Checkered flag. Townsend Bell qualifies 4th lap, 224.276. We have 9 cars in the field. 224.363 is the 4-lap average for Townsend Bell. 9 cars in the field, but a lot of cars are lined up ready to qualify on pole day at Indianapolis. The Pagoda at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the world's greatest race course. And we have had 9 cars qualify at this point, with Alex Tagliani in P1. Elio is next, followed by Will Power down to Anna Beatrice in 9th at 223.7. The car on the track right now is driven by Davey Hamilton, the oldest driver in the field at 47 years of age, looking for his 10th start here at the world's greatest race course. 224.954 on the first lap for Davey Hamilton. Lindy is with Graham Rahal.
And Graham, you said your heart was just beating out there. What were you feeling in that car?
Well, it's just a bit on the edgy side, a little loose right at the exit. I felt it on the first warm-up lap. I mean, I almost radioed him right at the exit of 1. It snapped into 2. It snapped on the warm-up, but that doesn't set you in a good mindset for the rest of the run. And so I was really cautious with my tools. I mean, the car was pretty quick. I think ultimately we should be able to get a little more speed out of it, but need to secure the rear first. But I think everybody, the whole Quick Trim team, worked really hard this week, and for us to be where we are, you know, right on the tails of Penske and Ganassi, I think we got to be pretty happy.
Thank you, Graham. And Bob, that's pretty different than what he's been feeling all week. He says this was one of the fastest cars he's ever been in.
Yeah, and you can bet that he may try it again here before the 4 o'clock hour rolls around.
But as he summed up, a pretty good sense of accomplishment and keeping yourself realistic of what you got. He said, hey, we're right on the tail of the Penske cars. You know what? That says a lot.
That's that managing expectations. You know, Bobby said, well, we'll see him. But, you know, sometimes you got to think, you know, discretion is at the better part of valor. There's going to be a lot of decisions later today. Shall I run? Shall I not run? And that's what makes this so interesting.
Davey Hamilton driving for DeFerrin Dragon Racing.